Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jurex, and this is the real story of the Pilgrims. JonTron by the channel JonTron Show. Now, before I begin, disclaimer. I thought the pain would go away from my back, but apparently it's a bigger issue. I probably, tore some muscles there. I'm still on the, heavy meds, tramadol, lots of it. So if I feel out of it, that's why, yeah. So let's watch this one. I love JonTron so far. All the topics he tackles is fucking random. Usually tackles the review of products, right? But I guess he's talking about here the Pilgrims. Why not? Pilgrims, I think, and the Pilgrims, English settlers who came to America and settled there, I guess in the 17th, 18th century, whatever. Yeah, 17th century. So yeah, let's watch this one.
I know you already know about Raid Shadow Legends, but it's for good reason. It's because it's one of the top 3 ranked RPGs on the Google Play Store. The game is crazy popular with almost
I love how he blurred out the first two, like, yeah, you don't need to see that.
3 ranked RPGs on the Google Play Store. The game is crazy popular with almost 15 million downloads in the last 6 months. With over 400 champions for you to collect and personally customize and 1 million champion builds, there are endless options to fit your playstyle. And once you've built up your champions, you can claim glory in the PvP arena or raid with friends in a clan. And the best part? It's free. With new champions every month and a progression system to reward you with free champions and equipment, you'll be able to learn and collect along the way. And once you've completed all the missions, you'll be rewarded with one of the best legendary champions in the game, Arbiter. Raid has huge plans for the next 6 months, so what are you waiting for? Get down there to my description, click the link, and download the game today. And if you're a new player, you'll be rewarded with 100,000 silver, 2 clan boss keys, 10 mystery shards, and 1 free champion, Executioner. Okay, thanks. Bye. Thanksgiving, one of America's most time-honored traditions. A time to come together with family, friends, and a dog. I guess if you have one. But where did all this good stuff come from? Is this picture accurate? Is what I'm saying? This picture doesn't look historically accurate to me. Is what I'm...
What is this? They are feeding food to the natives. Is that it? I don't think that's how it started.
I'm saying this picture doesn't look historically accurate to me. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm just saying. But that's why I'm here today. Because I have the distinct honor to be able to tell all of you out there today the real story, the untold story of the Pilgrims.
Yeah, they came from England, settled in America, killed all the natives, and there you go. Everybody enjoys Thanksgiving now. That's all. And only thing that I know of surface. Don't get pissed off in the comments.
Our story begins here, in a new world far, far away.
Chapter 1. A very questionable voyage.
Wait a minute, what?
Yes,
Is that Morgan
the
Freeman?
Pilgrims, those intrepid few, the great founding settlers of this nation, willing to risk life and limb to sail across the Atlantic Ocean to escape religious persecution in sight of a better lives for themselves and their families, and to forge a new path in the new world for generations to come. A beautiful story. Yes, indeed. One that we commemorate every year here in America with the observance of Thanksgiving. If by beautiful, you happen to mean literally that's not how it happened. Didn't happen that way. Well, you thought it was about this? You thought it was about this? You're fucking wrong! I mean, the story of the Pilgrims is technically true, in the same way that it's technically true that Ridley Scott has not completely lost his mind. Stop hurting me! You see, here in America, in school, we learned that the Pilgrims were kind of like the first Americans. Kind of like an origin story, like Adam and Eve. Only instead of it, being about the Bible, it's about a real historical country. So, you could just look that up. Not only were the Pilgrims not the first Europeans to reach the North American continent, they weren't even the first English settlers. In fact, they didn't want to be settlers at all. They were headed for the already established English colony of Jamestown, Virginia. Anybody heard about that? Anyone know about that? What the fuck is Jamestown? We don't learn about that, but we learn about the Pilgrims who missed Jamestown. They whiffed 200 miles up the fucking country to Massachusetts. That's right, my dudes. Unfortunately, our beloved Pilgrims just whiffed it. Okay? They didn't mean to go up there. It was just a rather strong wind. Who's
Wait a minute, isn't that the case with almost all of the European settlers coming to Americas, South America, North America? They just winged it. They landed where they landed.
Who's heard about Jamestown? Sergio thought it was Jonestown. I explained to him, no, that's where Jim Jones forced a bunch of innocent people to drink cyanide. Different place.
Oh, that one. Oh, okay.
It's the first English colony.
Kool-Aid.
What'd I say?
Cyanide.
Cyanide was in the Kool-Aid. You think the Kool-Aid killed him? I know it's shit. But it's not deadly. What was in the Jonestown Kool-Aid?
Valium, chloral hydrate, cyanide, and phenergan.
Cyanide and phenergan. I'm just saying it wasn't some bad Splenda.
This is why we know that okay Google doesn't bring up the artificial intelligence. It's just a virtual intelligence or whatever you call it. It's not artificial, because if it were real artificial intelligence, the Google would be, wow, that's what you want to know, all right. I like how that guy is basically, it was Kool-Aid, not cyanide. JonTron's response is perfect. Well, I know Kool-Aid is dangerous, but not that dangerous.
From now on, when you look at a painting of the Pilgrims landing at Plymouth Rock looking all fierce and stalwart in the face of untamed wilderness, think of them less as being like, we finally made it. Now, we forge onward. And more like, fuck Jim, did you bring the map? I'm not 100% on this, but I think we might be literally nowhere in the known world at all, and all we have is no food and these Dutch buckle hats. Which brings me to my next point, the Dutch years. That's right, there were Dutch years. How were the Dutch years? Well, I'll tell you. So you know that whole song and dance about how the Pilgrims left England to escape religious persecution? Yeah, well, that's true, I guess, if you account for the fact that the religious persecution they were escaping was brought on because they wanted the religious freedom to restrict the religious freedom from anyone in their general area. To put it in layman's terms for you, the Pilgrims were basically a cult. And so the King of England was like, look, you're free to do that weird, ooky, spooky cult shit or whatever, but just, I don't want to see it, all right? Do it in the Netherlands or something. You see, the Pilgrims were actually well known as being a more radical sect of the Puritans. And I don't know how that's possible.
A member of group of English Protestants who sought to reform the church. All right. So these were, Protestants extremists who wanted to reform England and, England's church and whatever. But they're like, nah, fuck that, you can't do that shit, get out of here. So they basically went somewhere else to do that. I mean, that is still trying to find religious freedom in a way, but not just the way we think. Doesn't matter the intention, right? In the end, it was, it became heaven, right? For anybody who got prosecuted for being, different religion or whatever. Jews and everybody flocked to America for that reason.
Possible. What, they think the Puritans weren't pure enough? It's in the fucking name. The Pilgrims were like the punk rockers who thought no one else was punk enough, no matter what they did. Oh my God, sorry, what? The whole time, I've been calling them the Pilgrims? My bad, I should have known better, man. I should be calling them by, I'm sorry, I should be referring to them by their real name that they made up for themselves and wanted to be called the Separatists.
Yeah.
That's right, the Separatists! Didn't learn that in History 101. This is the name of the kind of group you definitely want in your country. What's wrong, Kingy? You scared of your head on a pike in the middle of the capital city for all to gawk at?
Oh.
What, it's just a name, huh? You scared of a name? You hear that? King James has nameophobia, everyone! Fuck you to the Netherlands, is what he said. Get the fuck to Holland. Get to Holland. I'm the king. So, not being able to practice their radical faith in peace in England, they exiled themselves to the Netherlands to live out their days amongst the Dutch folk. That's right, they up and moved across the channel to a town called Leiden, which I'm sure you all know and love as a little slice of heaven between Voorburg and Hoofddorp. Listen, Dutch people, you stop sounding like that, I'll stop making fun of you.
That's very American way of saying it.
Behind my back. You're never gonna be stopped being made fun of. I'm never gonna leave the Dutch alone. So finally, thanks to the unprecedented tolerance of the Dutch, the Pilgrims could practice their intolerance in peace. Until shortly thereafter, where they literally said, can you fucking believe these Dutch people? Before you know it, our kids are gonna be talking like that. Hoof, drop, dingle, dropping. This literally happened, by the way. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but they were the only people to be nice enough to take them in. And they just kicked it in their face. Yes, that's right. The Pilgrims.
How fucked up that is, right? They were kicked out of England, and Dutch people like, oh, isn't that bad? We'll take you. Come back, and it's like, oh, what is this shit? Our kids are gonna sound like that? Fuck that, really?
were so actually disgusted by Holland that they were convinced it would actually be better to cross the Atlantic Ocean in a rickety boat of questionable functionality so they could live somewhere in the woods in the middle of nowhere and basically do what they were already doing in Europe, except without running water.
Chapter 3.
I love how they're like, we would rather drown than be called Dutch, and just ran away.
The first Thanksgiving?
So that's right. For some reason, instead of learning about Jamestown as the founding of America, we learn about a ragtag band of incompetent, Dutch-hating, cultist English separatists who almost all died because their boat sprang a leak and they forgot to learn how to steer before departing. And the only reason they survived is because a nice Native American man named Tisquantum, most of you may know him as Squanto, some of you may know him as Sasquatch, but you're wrong, came along and was like, hey, I noticed you guys were like starving over here. Like, do you want me to show you how to like grow some freaking corn? I'm not trying to intrude. I'm just kind of feel bad, dude. Your little boy's a skeleton. You put a little fish in the ground and the corn comes out and then your little boy's not a skeleton anymore.
Listen to John, kids. He's a real educator. Put some fish there and corn will come out. Yeah. I love how basically that Native American is like, I know none of you are going to be good for us, right? And you have way too better clothes than whatever I'm wearing, but I still can't just sit here and watch all you starve. Do you wanna know how to make corn?
All right, okay. I've slayed enough American sacred cows for one day, or should I say sacred American turkeys? I shouldn't say that. This is a high holy holiday coming up, Thanksgiving, and I'll make good. To show my patriotism, I'm gonna become a pilgrim myself. That's right, we're going to Plymouth Rock. There she is! That's Plymouth Rock. Seriously, this is Plymouth Rock? Why do they got it in a cage? Why is it jailed like a freaking zoo animal? I seriously didn't know, it's just a rock. Just an actual rock. How do I know this was the one?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Plymouth Rock, so of course it's a rock. And it's inside a zoo, not for it, basically, so people don't fuck with it, I guess.
Plymouth Rock was more of a metaphorical thing, like, you know, a big crag on the side of a mountain, not like a literal... This is barely Plymouth Stone, my dude. Don't they just look like they're having the time of their lives? Not such a bad life, though, you know. He gets fed a couple times a day. Every now and then, Robert comes down to give him a power washing. All right, honey, I'll see you later. The rock got a bit dirty from sitting there. Dude, you could just steal Plymouth Rock, dude. Okay? I'm not saying you should, but you could just steal Plymouth Rock, dude. This rock clearly needs some company. God knows it needs some company. So I'm just gonna chill now with Plymouth over here. And
I think if you steal that, it's considered, what is it called, national, whatever that's called, right? It comes under the umbrella of the branch that, preserves all the, monuments and shit, whatever. So it's a federal branch, right? So basically it would become a federal crime if you steal that rock. FBI would be up your ass, I guess.
You know, Rob's gonna stop by later with some White Claw. We're gonna hang out, play some drinking games. He didn't hear from me, but he can't hold his liquor. Okay? Gets drunk, rolls around. You gotta dodge him. Your toes get all smashed up. It's not pretty. Okay, guys. I'm not sure what I do on this channel anymore.
Yeah.
Sure, you're also not sure. But fuck you, huh?
That's a perfect answer. Fuck you. You do whatever you want, John. It's always fucking awesome. So yeah, that's what Pilgrim is. I thought Pilgrim are literally the first people who arrived there. Apparently not. I mean, first, English, who arrived in North America, but apparently not. It was already, Jamestown and things like that. So Pilgrims were basically extreme Christian Protestants who went to the Netherlands, said, fuck that, I don't want my kids sounding like that, and fucked off to America where they starved. So some Native Americans like, oh God, I can't even watch that. Do you want to know how to make corn? And there you go. And I understand why people tell that as a story, because it's more of a better story than just people who arrived in America and it was good for economy and business who stayed there as a business colony, and slowly from there it became a nation. That doesn't work right. Yeah, somebody who was, prosecuted religiously, even though they weren't, that good of people, they were extremists. Let's not think about that. They were religiously prosecuted from, England, so they ran away to America for the freedom. That sounds better. That's why. Alright, people, that was the real story of the Pilgrims, JonTron. I don't know what he does anymore, right? Because this is 2019. It was like 2 years ago, this video. So it's not like, before he didn't know setup of his channel, but now he does. No, he's still winging it right now. Sometimes he makes a review video. Sometimes he just talks about Pilgrims. Why the fuck not? But I like that. I like diversity like that. I don't want just, somebody sticking to one topic. It's awesome. Alright, people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the reaction. There's a link in the description. Check out the cast for plays like JonTron playlist and, Warhammer 40k, Internet Historian. And yeah, I'll see you next time.